Good evening. It's time for your weekly dose of Glambition with me, Joanne Strauss. Now, every week we've been covering a different topic surrounding African beauty. This week we're having a look at fame and fortune. Are the two really inextricably linked? And is everybody actually searching for their own 15 minutes of fame? Our first studio guest has definitely enjoyed more than 15 minutes of fame. Total media icon, Bonang Matheba. So lovely to have you in studio.
Thank you so much. What a pleasure.
Now, people look at you and you are this icon of success in South Africa, but also hard work. What gave you this drive to actually push so hard in the media industry?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I'm very, very lucky in that, I come from a family of overachievers. Both my parents are very ambitious. My father's a chartered accountant. My mom, has honors degrees. My sister, graduated cum laude. So the people around me are just very, very driven. And also, I have, there's just something in my spirit, just something as a Cancerian, just the person that I am. I live, breathe, eat success. That's the only thing I ever think about. So it's a mixture of both. I'm very lucky, my family, and just how I am as a person, my characteristics.
Now, for you, when it comes to hard work, you are determined, you're always professional. And you've been in this industry for how many years now?
Sure, almost 10.
So do you think that people who come into the industry now, they're all in search of this fast fame, so they forget that hard work is the only thing that actually pays off?
Exactly. And I mean, with me, my journey started when I was 15, 14 years old. But it only came to be when I was like 19, 20. So although I look like I always say, I look like a duck, just floating on top of the water, underneath I'm like paddling for my life. So that's what it's about. And, earlier on we were saying that an overnight success takes about 6-7 years to create. And that's the thing with the people that are coming into the industry now. They don't know that a little bit of patience and, just to take your time with it. You really need to, you need to be patient, I think, with anything that you want in life.
What kind of routines and regimes do you have to stay looking absolutely perfect? So how do you banangify yourself? Tell me.
Let me tell you something. First of all, I'm very lucky in that, I'm naturally very lean, so I don't have to watch what I eat that much. I'm very, very lucky, so I could gobble down a whole chicken.
I know, because I've watched you gobble down.
Girl, I eat, all right? I eat for about 3-4 people. This is what people don't know, and I don't get any weight. But with everything else, my skin is such an important part of the job that I do, my body in general, so I have to take care of it. So things like the spa, I always frequent the spa. I love Thai massages. The waxing, the trimming, the plucking, the doing of nails. But, when I'm not home and I'm not on TV, when I'm home and I'm not on TV or working, I always just let everything, just hang loose, no makeup, because at the end of the day, I mean, our skin really gets tired after putting on all this makeup.
Constant lighting.
Yeah.
Bonang, why is it so important to you to actually mentor new people coming into the industry?
You know what? I think me growing up, I know the effects that love has on a child, that mentorship has on a child. I unfortunately didn't have anybody to guide me in terms of, my career in the industry, but I know that there's a specific person. Each time I went to them and I asked them a question, they'd be there, they'd help me. So I know what kind, the positivity that comes out of guiding somebody or being there for them. I just feel like, and it just feels good. It's a kind of feeling that money can't buy. You can have all the bags and the shoes and the world travels and all of that. But I think giving somebody your time and allowing them to feel good when they're around you is, money can't buy that, it's priceless.
They do say that time is more valuable than money. You can always get more money, but you can never get more time.
Exactly, and people remember how you make them feel, not what you bought. So,
very true.
Exactly.
Bonang and I often get asked how one breaks into the media industry. I decided to then launch an online presenter search where people could submit their auditions via YouTube. Out of hundreds of entries, we selected 4 and took them to a luxurious resort in Zambia.
We found lots of talent who had entered on YouTube via presentersearch.com. Some entrants with great talent, other entrants with hilarious but entertaining auditions. 4 fantastic finalists emerged: Buhle, Shantae, Chanel and Masinga. After canvassing for votes and support via their social media channels, they boarded a plane to Zambia. Some of the finalists had their first stamps in their passports, and all were excited to get to know the sights and sounds of Zambia and find out what the world of presenting had to offer. The gorgeous lodge where we stayed treated us like royalty, and the finalists were soon hooked to the perks of being a traveling presenter. After learning how mokoros were carved from tree trunks, our finalists were given the chance to test drive these traditional modes of transport to a local village where they learned about traditional farming and later swapped them for rubber ducks. There was a lot to learn as the days progressed, and they were given an intense guide to the world of media with two of SA's media veterans. Bonang Mateva graciously joined us and shared her knowledge with our very enthusiastic finalists. She showed us her adventurous side as we went river rafting down the mighty Zambezi, catching some curious glances from crocs and hippos. We stopped for sundowner drinks on a private island to watch the sky turn orange and reflect on our beautiful surroundings, the amazing people of Zambia, and the opportunity to learn and grow.
We had such fun in Zambia with those finalists. I mean, we did some crazy things.
It was incredible. I always kind of sit by myself and think about all the crazy things that we do and laugh on my own. It really was phenomenal. And for me, it was the first time in Zambia, you know, at that amazing 5-star lodge. It really was superb. And I think, you know, I never have the opportunity to kind of be that close to aspiring presenters. So the 4 guys that we were with there were incredible. I'll never forget them. From Buhle to Masinga, they were incredible.
They were fun. And the great thing was they got a chance to learn and interact on a more personal level, which is fantastic, because I also think people forget that the industry comes with so many different facets that you have to understand who you are going into it.
Exactly. And I think also, it's with that said, because it's so small, you need to create the relationships, create the foundations, because you never know in 4 or 5 years' time who you might need, who is going to, you know, benefit you or help you with your career. And what I loved about the, you know, the group that we were with is that, you know, I see aspiring presenters all the time. I talk to them on Twitter and Facebook, but they actually went 4 steps extra. And like, that's all it takes. It's about effort. You know, they sat at home, they created that video, they entered the competition, and then, you know, now one of them has won an incredible opportunity. It's about taking the extra steps, making that extra effort, because that's what differentiates the successful people from the not so successful people.
We've had so much fun chatting to South Africa's media icon. We'll continue our conversation on Fame right after the break. Joining us now in studio, we have media triple threat presenter, actor and singer Dineo Moeketsi. Thank you so much for joining us here.
Thanks for having me.
What actually drew you into this industry?
I decided that I was going to be a singer at 13. I decided it was done and dusted. And then the acting came when I was about 16. And by pure accident, when I was 21, I was being sent to a whole lot of presenter auditions. And I saw a particular cattle call, if you want to call it, for O Access. And I was like, oh, I could do that. And it wasn't me, because at first I was like, oh, I'm an actor, not a presenter.
Because there is a huge difference between acting and presenting.
And if you ask any actor, they'll get very, very upset when you go, presenters are just like actors, because they'll go, stop right there, it's a totally different craft. So I had that apprehensiveness in the beginning, but I went for the jugular, and I was never sure that I'd get the job.
Don't you think that in recent years also, and maybe it's because of the advent of social media, everyone wants to be a celebrity?
Oh, yes.
Do you find that?
I do, and I think you see now more than ever, I think I tweet less, because I see how people either want to get fame off of being, a lot of the time, nasty, rather than being pleasant. I mean, just the other day, I tweeted a compliment to a woman, a woman who's on TV and acting, and I thought she was gorgeous. And all these people wanted to attach little things like you're attracted to them or something stupid, and I was like, oh my goodness, it is normal for somebody to compliment someone in the real world. People really don't understand the monster that is fame. She is a fickle and very jealous one.
And also, people seem to associate fame and fortune.
Yes.
And in South Africa, that's not always the case. You have to hustle, right?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Because in America, for example, there are the huge paychecks. In South Africa, you have to be very clever about how you actually have the business of celebrity and not just being a celebrity for the sake of that.
And people don't get that. People think, oh, you're on television, automatically you have hordes of money coming into your bank account, and that's not always the case. It's not really something that's just out the box and here you go, you're in the money and you're moneyed, and doesn't mean that. And I wish, I'm having a bit of a cathartic moment here.
No, but you do.
A lot of people won't realize that. I think people, even people who are watching this will most probably go, yeah, you're supposed to say that because you're on television and you're supposed to look humble. It's not a humble look. This is really the reality of the situation.
Sometimes people think that presenting is only about glamour. However, at times you might be placed in positions where you have to indulge in some adventure sports, which is exactly what our finalists found out.
If ever there was a clear definition to the calm before the storm, the mighty Zambezi personified it. We witnessed how this calm river, one of Africa's largest, morphed into a majestic cascading spectacle, a true natural wonder. Now, it's very hard to be a glamorous presenter when you're practically swimming upright, but our finalists learned that presenting is about sharing the experiences with a broad audience and being able to make the viewer feel that they've actually joined you on a journey. And that's exactly how our finalists will have the memory etched in their minds. After viewing the World Heritage Site from afar, they had a chance to get up close and personal with a mist from the famous waterfall. They call the Victoria Falls Mosi Watunya, or the smoke that thunders, and she certainly lived up to her name. We were all drenched and enjoyed the experience of witnessing the falls from every possible angle. We then boarded a jet boat as we prepared for some serious adventure sport, traveling down the mighty Zambezi at a ridiculous speed and getting very close to the rocks and the riverbank. We screamed and shouted, amusing our fellow passengers. Being a presenter means always being ready for a challenge and learning how to just be natural. And Bonang and I enjoyed this time to literally let our inhibitions go and just enjoy the ride with our fabulous finalists, Masenga, Shantae, Chanel and Buhle. We couldn't wait to see which one would emerge our winner.
And we're still continuing fame and success. We're now joined by Nondumiso Tembe, who has very, very successfully flown the flag for South Africa in the States as an actress. And we've also just figured out that the two of you studied at the same school.
Yes.
Yes.
Basically just missed each other.
Just missed each other.
Yeah,
completely.
just by a few years.
Yeah.
In New York? Or...
In New York.
And you actually had incredible success already in the States as an actress, but you also come to South Africa and do theatre work, for example.
Yeah, and music, yeah.
How does it differ, the industries on the different continents?
Well, you know, particularly the world of Hollywood and Los Angeles, the world of film and television is incredibly competitive. And there's so many talented people who are hungry and ambitious, who are all chasing the same dream. And so, you know, really, I think lasting, the test is just having the patience to be able to see it through and, you know, kind of really knowing what your purpose is and not chasing the wrong dream. And so, you know, when I'm home, I feel like the difference between sort of the two worlds is there's just a sense of, I think, for me, being more grounded, connected, the sense of Ubuntu and the sense of community, and I feel like I get to do very meaningful work here.
Every now and again, when you throw in a Xhosa or Zulu word, I think people get thrown sometimes because you speak with this American accent. Do you feel African, American? What do you classify yourself as?
I am 100 and I'm 200% completely, proudly, strongly, deeply African. And we were talking about this earlier, you know, someone like you who's traveled the world so much and you were talking about, you know, representing our flag. You know, it's just like a badge of honor or a badge of pride that you get to wear as a representative of your culture, as a representative of your people. And it's very important to me that I stay grounded in that. I'm proud of my heritage and where I come from. And I know maybe the accent for some people who don't understand the way that I grew up is misleading, but my first language is Zulu. It's Zulu. Ekhaya, sikhuluma isiZulu nje. And sangempela, isiZulu sokudlala. And growing up in New York, you know, my parents made me read umasihambisana negoda just to stay, because it's hard raising a child, you know, outside of the country, to keep me fluent so I can read and write very fluently in Zulu. And I'm grateful now that I'm older that they took the care and the time to keep me connected. And that in the house, I wasn't listening to Janet Jackson or, you know, whoever, Salt and Pepper. In the 90s, I was listening to Miri Makeba and
Sibongile Khumalo
and Huma Sigela. You know, that's the music that I grew up in, that side. So I'm very grateful to my parents for helping me stay grounded in that way. I couldn't have done it on my own.
This has been so much fun chatting to you. Nondumiso, Daneo, you guys are absolutely phenomenal women. Thank you so much for inspiring us. We'll catch up more with some African beauties who are also attaining fame and fortune right after the break. Joining me in studio now is Katrine Kruger, who has obviously enjoyed immense fame internationally as a model. But Katrine, is quite interesting because in South Africa, it seems that only bit by bit we're now starting to wake up to the huge success that you've already enjoyed. How did your modeling career actually start?
Well, I was scouted in Canal Walk at the age of 15. You know, Sunday stroll with my family in the shopping center, quickly buy something after church. And Robert Bestis saw me and he asked my mom, does she do modeling? And I was like, no, you're crazy. And he said, please wait, I want my wife to meet her. And she owned Y Models at the time. And I signed with them a week after.
Because a lot of people come to me and ask, how do you become a model? It's not something that you just become. You either are or you aren't, and you're obviously a model. Your first shoot, you did 3 shoots and then already you shot Prada.
Yes. I did 2 jobs in Cape Town, you know, stock images, German clients, very smiley, posy, pretend to do something. It's very weird and awkward.
A little bit cheesy shots.
Very, very. And then IMG came to scout in Cape Town. I was 15 still, 15. And they asked me to come to Paris in the June holiday. So my mom and dad went with, and they then sent me to Milan to shoot the Prada lookbook.
Is it surreal for you when you look back and you actually look? I mean, you've done Oscar de la Renta campaign with Candice Swanepoel. You've done Prada. You've done Louis Vuitton. All these amazing shows and campaigns. Is it surreal for you?
It is looking back, but I think it counted in my favor being so naive. You know, I didn't realize how big Prada is. I didn't realize how big shooting with Steven Meisel is. And I was like, oh, Steven Meisel, oh, Oscar de la Renta, oh, Anna Wintour. And I'm like, who are these people, you know? And now looking back, I'm like, oh my goodness. I don't know how I got through that, but I think it definitely counted in my favor. People saw me as a down-to-earth girl, who I am, and definitely counted in my favor. And it is a bit surreal, but people don't recognize me at all, which I like, though, which I like.
Do you find that you feel that you're an African beauty?
I do, definitely, but I think when I work overseas, people are like, what, you're from South Africa? You can't be because, you know, you're white. And I'm like, you're joking. You know, because people still have this idea of South Africans are all black. We live with the lions and everything. And it's very scary in a way, but I take great pride in where I come from and who I am, and then being able to tell them how South Africa is, who South Africans are, and the struggle we've been through, but the strong country that we've become is a responsibility that I have.
Do you have a specific skincare and beauty regime to stay absolutely picture perfect at all times?
I bathe in milk.
Do you?
No. No, I'm joking. Not really. I mean, I do try to take care of myself. And whenever I'm home, I don't wear any makeup. I just don't use any, you know, something to blow dry my hair or straighten my hair. So keep it all natural, because when you're on set, as you would know, it's like crazy and it's steam and it's 3 people doing your makeup. And so I try to be, when I can, as natural as possible.
For me, the time in Zambia wasn't just all about having fun. I also had the task of actually finding the winner out of our 4 finalists.
Finding our winner was a fun task, which meant putting our finalists through their paces, learning links and presenting them to camera, as well as learning how to conduct the perfect interview. Buhle, Masinga, Shantae and Chanel were seasoned pros by the end of the weekend and knew that besides the chance to travel and be part of this incredible experience in Zambia, they would have the chance to be mentored by me and win a number of awesome prizes. Zambia will be in their hearts forever, and they enjoyed the opportunity to experience another beautiful African country. Our next online presenter search is now on, and you could stand a chance to be one of our finalists who get to experience an incredible opportunity to travel to the gorgeous Reunion Island, just between Madagascar and Mauritius, and to be mentored by a soon-to-be-announced celebrity and I. we'll be flown directly to Reunion and stay in a 5-star resort, Lux Reunion. Our finalists will participate in adventure sports on this volcanic island, surrounded by incredible marine life. Enter now on www.presentersearch.com. We can't wait to experience the luxurious island life with you. Don't miss out on this. T's and C's apply.
Joining me in studio now is the winner of the online presenter search, the gorgeous Buhle Moletsane. How did you feel when you actually heard you'd won?
I still remember that day vividly, and I was on my way from Durban to Joburg. Me and my friends decided to drive down to Joburg, and when you announced that you were going to be, calling out the winner on Facebook, we decided to just stop on the side of the road and actually wait until 3 o'clock for you to actually announce the winner. So we stopped by the road. We parked on the side of the road at 2:45. I remember 2:45, and then 3 o'clock hit, and then you were like, and the winner is ...
I kept the suspense.
Yeah, we're like, Joanne, come on. My heart was like beating up and down. It was, oh man, I remember that day so well. And then like 2 minutes after 3, I think, and then you actually explained what you loved about all 4 of us. And then when I saw my name and you saying I will receive all my great prizes that I actually worked hard for, so it was pretty exciting for me.
Buhle, why is it that you want to present so much?
I think I've always loved being in front of the camera. I mean, I've always loved watching you on Top Billing, even before Top Billing, Miss South Africa, when you won at the age of 19. And I've watched your life elevate from there onwards. And it's actually been a privilege and an honor to actually work alongside with you on this project. So
Thank you.
It's been amazing.
We are having another online presenter search, so don't forget to visit our website, presentersearch.com, and there you can find out all the information on how to enter. We'll be taking the next bunch of finalists to a fantastic location here on our wonderful continent, so do make sure you enter. That wraps up this season of Glambition. Thank you so much for having been part of the Glambition family over the last couple of weeks, and see you soon.